Right, deception number 13. We're going to look at this one. It is the stronghold of the 613 laws, that when you speak with a Christian and you want to talk about keeping Torah, then often they ask you, but do you keep all 613 laws? It's just one of those many deceptions that they think has got ground, but really has no foundation in the argument. And the reason for that is, we will look at that now, is just because they just don't understand. And that is what the church relies on. They rely on their members not studying the word for themselves, but rather just listening to what is spewed to them from the pulpit. It is a defense mechanism to stay clear from truth. So what I normally reply with is asking them, have you got any idea how many rules and regulations and laws you have to obey in a normal life in the country you live in? There are thousands of laws that we have to keep. There are traffic laws, taxes, judicial laws, business practice, import, export, rules at work, school, sport, all the things that we participate in or where there are people involved. There are rules, there are laws to keep the people safe. Health and safety, that is another big one. But if we just use the rules of the road as an example, there are hundreds of rules that we have to keep. There are rules for pedestrians, there are rules for motorcyclists, there are rules for different types of cars like personal cars, taxis, emergency vehicles, there are rules for trucks, there are rules for buses, and the list just goes on. But they don't seem to think of it like that. Now, the 613 laws of the Torah apply to the people of Israel. They do not apply to everybody of Israel. They apply to some. Some laws apply to all the people of Israel. For example, if we look at the laws of the Levites, that will only apply to the Levites. If we look at the laws of the Nazarim or Nazarene or Yisrael or the Hebrews, but those who believe in Yahuwah, all the 10 commandments apply to all believers. Then at that time, in Moshe's time or in the Tanakh time, there were rules for clean living. Well, that won't apply today anymore because we have now the facilities of running water. We've got toilet facilities. They're feminine products. So there are differences. The laws of clean living in the Torah applied for the people at that time to keep them safe. But then they always come up with the one, but do you still sacrifice animals? Well, if you understand the renewed covenant, that is not a problem either, because obviously we do not sacrifice animals today. Those who believe in Yahusha that has come. Because Yahusha has become our slaughter offering for all time. That does not mean that we do not have any slaughter offerings for today. Certain offerings still apply. For example, the slaughter offering of our lips. We still praise and worship Yahuwah. That is also an offering to Yahuwah. Go read Hebrews 13 verse 15 and Hosea 14 verse 2. There it speaks of the offering of the sacrifice of our lips. So just to then really just close down with the following. The 613 laws are for the people of Israel. I've got a list here of these laws, and I will say, or I'll read them through with you, and just point to you which are applicable to all and which are applicable to some. Just to give you an idea, these are not all the 613 laws, but these are the major ones. So we'll start with governing of the country, of the kingdoms, or civilian life. There are obviously laws there for the people. The government laws will apply to all the civilians. Then we'll get Israel's judicial system. That will apply to all people. Levites, it will only be for the Levites. Nazarenes or Israel, the Ten Commandments applies to all people. Israel victories should apply to all Israelites. Offerings, well, we know that Yahusha being our sacrifice, so there will be no ceremonial of animal sacrifice offerings anymore, but only the sacrifice of our lips. The temple will be the Levites. Love for Yahuwah, His word and prayer, that will be everybody. Love for your neighbor will be all. Marriage and family, obviously for the married people. Clean and pure sexual practice, obviously only for those in marriage. Idolatry, those laws will apply for all. Business practices will be for people who have businesses. Food guide will be for all. Cleanliness will be for all. Sabbaths and scriptural feasts will be for all. Farming practice will only be for farmers. And covenants and making oaths will be for all people. So most of these laws are common sense laws, especially when it comes to sexual practice or clean living, food laws. If you live like that, it becomes common practice, and it's not a law that hangs over your head anymore. It is there for taking care of yourself and your family. So in conclusion, many of these laws we keep, not all of them. Shalom.